Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to add a timer here inside this navigation bar. And if you actually go to our issue information page, here you can see the return date. So we will count the time from now to the return date, and we'll show this time here to show the remaining time that we have before we have to return that book, so that we can actually keep track of this time and we don't forget to return the book in time. And after this, here you see there inside the W3 school you will find the countdown timer. I will leave the link in the description, so you can copy that code, the script tag, copy that whole script tag, and let's go to our navigation page because we will actually show it inside our navigation. And here we will just write a comment, and inside this comment I will just paste that code. So this is the code for actually showing the timer. Now we just need to do the PHP part. So here you can see that they are using an ID called demo to show that time, the time. So we will create that demo ID inside our navigation because we need to show this inside our navigation, right? So here before the message we will show this. So here we will create another list tag, and inside this our anchor tag, and we'll need the link here, so we will delete this link part, and then we will create another paragraph tag here, and we will add our styling inside this paragraph tag. For that styling we will add some color and the font size. So color will be hashtag FF1503, then font size will be 20 pixel. And after this we will add the ID name. So here the ID name is demo. You can add any other ID name, but you need to actually write that ID name inside that timer code where you see they actually get the element by ID demo. So you need to change this name too if you want to change that name. So now let's explain the code. Here they are actually getting the time that we need to count. So here our return date will be inside this function, and after this they are actually counting every 1 second. In every 1 second they will check this loop and update it. And after this, here they are actually getting the time for today's time and date, and after this they are actually getting the difference between this date and our return date. And after this they have just calculated the day, hour and minute and second, because everything was in second, so we need to find the date, minute and hour to separate them from there, and we will show them inside that demo ID. And if the distance is less than 0, that means the date has expired. So we will write expired if the date is distance is less than 0. So let's go to our admin side approve.php page, and inside this we have a form where we actually give the input for our return date and issue date and approval yes or no status. So here we will just add another input for actually giving input in that format. You have seen that the format is different from the one we have actually given for our return date in our issue book table. So we will create another table and give this input from this form to that table. So here in the placeholder we will write the demo version of the date that we need to actually give as input. So here the format will be like this: first 3 word for each month, first 3 alphabet. So here let's give today's date, February, so FEB, and then a space, then the date. The date is 18, and then a comma, then space, then year. Year is 2020, and after this again a space and then the time. Let's say 3 p.m. is the time between which the student have to return the book. So here 15 and then 00. That means hour, minute and second, and then required. And after this we have created the form property, and then we need to write the PHP code for inserting this value inside our new table. I will create the table a bit later. First let's just write the code here. So $QL is our new variable, or we can actually write it directly inside our MySQL query because we don't need to use this inside another variable or something, so we can write it directly. And inside this $db and then insert query. Our new table name will be timer. So here I will just write insert into, then table name timer, and then values. There will be 3 columns in this table. First one will be for name, then book ID, and then the time. The name and book ID will be same as we have written below. So here the session name, this name is not our login username because this is from the admin side. This is admin side approve.php page. Okay, so here we cannot use that. We need that value from our approval page. You see that if we want to approve it, we need to go to book request page, and there you will see that here the variable we have actually named them for $_session name and $_session bid. So we will use these 2 session variable. So the first value will be this, and second value will be session bid variable, and the third one will be actually from the form that we just created. So this one will be $_post. It will be posted from that form. So here $_post, and the name was tm, the input name. So we will give that name here. So these 3 variables will be actually inserted into this table. Now let's create the table in our database. So here the table name and number of column is 3. First one, let's name it the same as our session variable. So that is just name, not the username. And after this, the one will be bid, and last one is tm. So all of this, let's give them worker. Okay, the bid was actually integer, and the last one is also character type. So here 100 is the length, let's say. And after this, everything is okay. We can just save this now. Okay, so here is our table that already has been created. So now let's check if the value is properly inserted or not from here. And let's refresh the page, and let's do this for Promi book 2. And here, yes, then the issue date will be today's date, and let's give the return date after like 1 month. So here it will be March 18, and here we need to actually give it in this format. Okay, so here March, MAR, the first 3 alphabet will be there, then 18, then comma space 2020, and then 1500. Now if we actually check it again in the issue information, you will see that this book has been actually given. Okay, maybe there were actually already 1 request previously, and I have actually requested again, so we are actually getting 2 values in this table. Okay, that is not a problem. We will just do the work here, but you can see that the value have been inserted into our new table property. So that means all the code is done. So here now we just need to work on our navigation page. The approve.php page have completed, and now here inside this we can see that here we need to actually take that value from our table and put it inside this code that we will run for our timer. And for fetching this value, we need the book ID, because one person can have more than 1 book they actually took. So we will actually decorate them or rearrange them according to the return date, and the date that is closest to from today, that will be actually shown in the timer. And after that time has expired, then they will show the next book's date and how many time has left before we have to return the second book. So here let's write the code for getting that book ID. Here we are doing this for Promi, but in the code we will give our session variable so that this can apply to every user. So now let's check it. And the approved status will be yes, because only if we approve them then we will show the timer. that means the person has taken that book. Otherwise it will not be actually shown inside our timer. And here you can see the approved status is yes for 2 persons, so we are getting 2 value, but we need only 1 value. So here we will actually write something else. We are actually arranging them in ascending order, then we will take only the first value for showing the timer. So we are giving a limit to 0 to 1, so we are getting 1. Now you can see previously we were getting 2. If the person has taken more than 1 person, we will get only the first value, as we actually write the limit here. So here let's write the query inside our navigation page after we have written some query for message. And let's include our connection page in this page, in this navigation page too, so that we don't get any error or we don't have to write it in every page. So here after the message part we will write our timers code here. So we need to select the book ID from our issue book or issue information table. So here select star from issue underscore book, that was our table name, where username will be equal to login user, so $_session login user, and then the approved status will be yes, and order by. We need to give this single quotation mark around this return column, otherwise it will not work. You will get some error message. And after this we just give the limit, then we will fetch this we will fetch this data from this query, and we will keep this inside our $bid variable. Now we can use this $bid to show the values that we want to show. Let's say we need the book ID, so we will write it like this: echo $bid into, then inside that we will give the column name. Here you see 2 values are there, so we will get 2. Sorry, the book ID is actually 2, and both the book have the same book ID, so we will just see 2 here in the left corner. So that means that this query is running properly. We don't need to change anything else here. Then the next query. In the next query, we will name it $q, and then MySQL underscore query. Then we will select everything from our table called timer. Okay. And then after this, let's add some single quotation for this table too. And after this, the where condition, where the username will be equal $_session login user, and then book ID will be equal that we have actually fetched from the previous query. So $bid, and then inside bid, because we are actually fetching that data and saving them inside bid variable in line 27, you can see. So here we just use that bid, book ID, and the username to get the values from the table timer. And after this we will actually fetch all this data from this $q query. Actually let's name them $t, because I probably have used $q in some other page, and this navigation page is actually included in all the other code too. It can actually conflict. So let's check if the result is showing properly or not. Okay, we are getting some error here. Most of you actually have commented about this, and this can happen if there is something wrong in your query. So you need to check the query properly. So we have checked the previous query, there is no problem there, but now we just wrote this second query. We need to check it properly, and you can see inside our timer here the name is actually name, but we are actually using username. That is why we are getting this error. So we need to write where name equal to session login user. Now we will not get any error. If you see, we are getting that date here properly, exactly same way that how we need to actually show inside that code. So we will copy this part and delete it, and now we need to actually show it here in place of this time that we have written previously. So here after this we will write it like this. Okay, so we are just echoing that result tm. That means we are getting that time, and here now you can see 28 day 22 hour and then 22 minute and 49 second, sorry 35 second now. So here you can see we are getting everything properly for one book. Okay, now if you see inside this issue book table, there are actually two values for this, and for both of them let's check one. Let's change the date for one of them, the return date. Let's give it February 20, and you will see that the date will change according to this, because the date that is actually closest to today's date, that will only show the timer inside our navigation bar, the closest one. So we need to actually give this inside our timer table too. Previously we have given the same date, that is why we got one input only. Now we are just giving it manually, and here we got the new date. And let's check if this is working properly or not. Let's refresh it. Okay, we are not getting the date. Okay, that can happen because of the book ID is actually same, and that is why maybe we are getting some error. Okay, this can happen because of the book ID. That is why maybe they are actually forgetting something. Okay, yeah, we actually arranged them in the ascending order in our issue book page, but not in the timer page. That is why we are actually getting this problem or getting this error. We need to actually use the same ascending order in the timer query, or we can actually now change the book ID in one of them, because one student will not take the same book twice. So we don't need to actually change the query, we can just change the book ID here. One student will only take one book at a time. They don't need actually same book two times. So here you can see now we are actually getting 1 day 22 hour left for returning the second book. That date was actually February 20, so it is actually correct. We will see this one, and if the date expired, what will happen? I will show you that too. So let's make it February 17. Let's say the previous day, it has already over. So as it is actually previous day, we will actually see expired in this part. So let's change them in both the table, not just one. And let's go to our page and refresh it. You can see the expired here. They will actually see expired at the same time they will refresh it. But here you can see that the fine has not added here, and you can actually see only one book that was expired previously. We need to see another one, but how will we do it? You see that in the previous part, when we wrote the code in our admin side, admin need to log into their page to actually update all this information for expired information, for showing expired information or updating expired information in all their code or all their page. So here the admin has logged in and visited all these pages. Now if we go to our student side again and refresh that page, you will see that the fine will also be here. You can see the fine is also changed, $31, and the time for that you can see now there inside the timer. We can see the second book's time already has started, and in every place you can see 2 expired information in the both student side and the admin side. So here we are actually getting our new timer for 28 day. If the book is returned, then we will actually see this in our fine page too.